will serve for the Demon Deacons. And we're ready to roll here in South Bend on this Friday night. Drunick behind the back to Palazzolo. Drunick to Palazzolo again, off the block and deflection. Too far out of the reach of Emma Farrell, and Notre Dame starts the scoring tonight.
Sydney Palazzolo honored before the start of this game for reaching the 1,000 point mark in her career. Also a first-year member of Notre Dame, a transfer from High Point. She gets point number 1 of this night.
Palazzolo back to serve, second in the ACC. And aces per set, and one's right there, showing why she's so good on the service line. She can attack and serve, making her the complete player for Notre Dame.
That's the type of air I was talking about in the intro. Pretty routine serve there, and Willock just was not able to make a good play on that ball. Wound up sending it too far towards the scorer's table. And on cue, a mistake from Notre Dame as well to get Wake on the board.
Now Olivia Frankie will serve for the Demon Deacons. Frankie comes in to the contest 9th in hitting percentage at .381 on the season. Drunick tight to the net. Lang with a strong kill, creating some tempo for the Fighting Irish.
Eva Lang, probably the most highly touted member of Notre Dame's freshman class this year, a nationally recognized 4-star recruit. She's gotten the most playing time, really, of any of the other freshmen this season. And a nice job right there, again, powering through the block like we talked about in the intro.
Lang off the block, Bonson keeps it alive. And we'll get it across to allow Wake to set up. Drunick laying it all out there. Big swing on the backside for the Demon Deacons to pick up their first kill.
Great job earlier in the sequence for Wake by getting bodies at the net. You saw that opportunity for Notre Dame to score on the far side. There's only one player there. Maybe it's a 4-1 Irish lead right now, but they get 2 players there, force the ball in a spot where they can make a play on it, and eventually wear the Irish down.
Amber Torrance to serve. To Trump, off the deflection. Lucy Trump, the sophomore, makes her presence known.
Yeah, 16 kills for Trump last weekend, despite barely playing in one of Notre Dame's 2 contests. Only a sophomore, she's certainly one of the building blocks for Salima Rockwell and this Irish team. Has talked about a tough season for them, especially over the last couple of weeks. But obviously, a lot of excitement when Rockwell came to Notre Dame, and a lot of promise that she brings to this Irish program. And Notre Dame has seen it materialize at times this year. They're just looking for more consistency and more development as her tenure progresses.
Crawford gets the deflection to get the kill for the Demon Deacons. Now Paige Crawford to serve. Lang receives a serve. Sample in, blocked by Ogagar. Rejected at the net. We're now tied at 4 between these two ACC foes.
Well, Ogagar was Wake's blocks leader a year ago, getting just over 100 with 20 solo as well, and showing off that skill set right there.
Sample, up to Lang. Puts too much on it, has it go out of bounds.
That's the thing with this Notre Dame team so far this season. A lot of their losses, even games like their match against Wake Forest where they got swept, they've been close, and that shot right there just missing the back corner. And you said, even though Notre Dame was swept by Wake earlier this season, those first 2 sets were decided by a combined total of just 5 points. They hung with Wake until just really running out of gas at the end of that match.
Strong swing from Ava Carney to get the kill, and for Notre Dame, that's been the story all season. They've been close, they just haven't been able to get over the hump to pick up those set wins in those matches and games.
And it can be so hard for a young team and an inexperienced team together as well. With Notre Dame, like we said, just the second year of Rockwell's coaching tenure. When things spiral, it can be really hard to pick yourselves off the deck. I think that's what we've seen from the Irish over these last few weeks or so. Is They've lost 9 in a row coming into this one.
Carney tries to get over the block. Schrader gets a fingertip on it. Palazzolo with the drop shot. Crawford from the back. Sample up to Palazzolo. Can't get a deflection, trying to put too much on it. Wake Forest on a 5-0 scoring run, leading 7-4.
And that momentum can go both ways. When Notre Dame's on, like they were at the start of this year, an 8-2 begin to this campaign for the Irish. Had some people talking, certainly. It can look really good, but what separates those veteran teams, the ones who are able to not just make the tournament, go deep in it as well as those ones who show up night in and night out. You're obviously going to lose some games, but play with that type of level of consistency and determination.
Baker set to Carney.
For success.
Irish pick up the point as it goes out of bounds, and Alyssa Manitsis will now check in for Notre Dame to serve. The freshman standing at 5 foot. Coach Rockwell, small, but sees the game so well. Provides such necessary backline defense for this team. Baker saves it from going over the net. It's a big swing from Carney right over our heads.
Little top spin on that one.
I haven't caught one on air yet.
I did get a hand on it, but it was almost a kick save and a beauty. Camera sadly cutting out. Actually, probably not so sadly given my lack of hand-eye on that opportunity.
Ogagar to serve. Sample to Schrader. Schrader with dominant.
Ball was just so well struck by Schrader. Put on a tee for her, and the lefty finish by Schrader has really come a long way. Someone who played right away for Notre Dame when she came in as a freshman and have only seen her role increase over the last couple of years.
Carney has it blocked. It's Schrader and McDowell.
Yeah, both of those two standing at 6 foot tall and using their entire frames right there, doing an excellent job of timing this block. It's the only way you're going to be able to stop someone like Carney, who's got almost 300 kills on the year. You have to be absolutely perfect in your motion. Notre Dame was there.
Frankie finds the opening in the hardwood. Too far out of the reach of Manitsis' reach. Baker to serve for Wake Forest. Sample. Pushed that to Palazzolo. Palazzolo tried to go cross court with it. Just didn't get over the net.
Yeah, I think she's going to get caught in between there. I think one maybe get underneath it at first and then trying to settle for just tapping it over and wind up catching it at the wrong angle.
Off the tape. Palazzolo, strong swing. Baker will now set to Carney. Slater able to get the deflection.
That dig by Carney was so powerful. I believe it was Carney. It almost caught the scoreboard. So easy to get demoralized when two close sets like that don't go your way. There's one that go Notre Dame's way right there, as Palazzolo couldn't make a play on that. That's something that comes in time. It's something that this Notre Dame team obviously hoping to get better at as the years progress, and they continue to build this program back up under the watch of Salima Rockwell.
Fiona Schrader, the opposite side hitter, finding hardwood, pick up the kill.
And some good building blocks certainly for this Notre Dame team to build around. I think this is a program devoid of talent. Schrader once again with the left hand, putting it in just a perfect spot. She's had 2 gorgeous kills already so far in this one.
Nicole Drunick, one of the Irish's captains, serves it over. Drunick to Trump. Trump can't sneak it in. Wake Forest picks up the point.
It's one of those touch shots we talked about in the intro. I think it was Monson did a good job going down to her knees there and keeping herself in a good position to make a play on the ball. And unfortunately, I believe it was Trump who just got a little bit too much on it.
Notre Dame so far has 5 attacking errors to Wake Forest's 2. McDowell with the push and gets the point.
Big point there for Charity McDowell. She gets her first of her senior night. So who did not play very much a couple years ago, but since Salima Rockwell has arrived, she has leaned heavily on the 6-foot senior from Indianapolis, and results have been there for McDowell.
Palazzolo gets it across the net.
What a save there by Wake off the net.
Lang through the block and gets the kill.
Now Lang was able to get downhill on that shot, coming over the top of it just enough so that it creates a type of spin where that block isn't able to deflect it back up and keep the ball alive or get it back over the net. It's right in between the two defenders. Secures the point for the Irish.
Drunick goes chasing.
Thought we're gonna have to make a play again there.
Trump can't get over the net. Wake with the point. Staying hot over here.
Yeah, keeping us on our toes.
Now Olivia Frankie to serve again.
Don't want to have that late season letdown.
Emma Farrell will now serve after the substitution. The libero in this contest for the Demon Deacons. Lang again through the block. The freshman showing off some power here.
Already over 200 kills on the year for Ava Lang. They actually have had some success there on the left side of the court so far in this game. See if that shapes how they plan their attack going forward.
Tremblay's out for it. And goes for it again. Baker. Crawford tried to go over. Baker to Crawford. Too far out of the reach of Palazzolo. Finds the donut in the defense of the Irish.
The Irish showed some great composure there earlier in the set, but there's no match for a perfect shot like that. And Paige Crawford, who someone Coach Smart called an unsung hero of this team, getting a moment in the spotlight there with a beautiful shot.
Drunick up to Lang. Lang does the job on the high shot. It's Willock to go chasing for it. And has a deflection, Notre Dame within 3.
And all of a sudden, Notre Dame starting to find their stride here. After Wake Forest looked like they might go on a big run in the middle of the set.
Baker has to chase it down, passing to Crawford. Crawford takes the path and run with it.
Just a laser right there off the left hand of Lang. Just didn't have the angle to come around and make a play on that ball. It was just sent perfectly towards the sideline. Tough shot there, especially for a freshman.
Crawford leading the way now with 3 kills for Wake. Farrell tracks it down. Carney flat-footed, gets over. Palazzolo targeting Crawford. Tarnoff with the push. Crawford looking for the deflection, not there, but ruled by the AVC officiating crew, and Notre Dame picks up the point.
Yeah, all of a sudden, here come the Irish.
Within 3, bring back in Alyssa Menezes.
Wake led by as many as 5, but it really felt like just a moment ago that they were really starting to take control of this set. And since then, some sloppy plays like that one right there. Just a tough angle for Ogugor right up against the net. Notre Dame has crept within 2 for the first time in a long time.
Shows the prowess Menezes has on the service line. Baker brings it back over the net, up to Carney. Too far out of the reach of Torrance's platform.
I think if I was Randy Smart, I'd call a timeout here. Saw the way Notre Dame responded to the timeout called by Rockwell, and Wake has just looked a little bit discombobulated over these last few minutes or so. Lead cut down to 1.
Carney. Ogagar. Too far into the green. Notre Dame tied up with Wake at 16, and there's your timeout, Andrew. Coach Randy Smart wants to talk things over.
First time we've been even since it was 4-4, and give a lot of credit to this Notre Dame play. But still certainly a lot of meaning in these last couple of games for the Irish as they look to create something to build off of going into next season.
Carney with the smart move, pushing it beside the block. Wake Forest responds off the timeout of Smart.
A lot of veterans on this Wake team, but Carney, a freshman, has made a big impact, and I love the way that Randy Smart talked about her when we spoke this morning. She called her, and I quote, a baller. And she's made some big plays in this set.
Sample. Palazzolo. Baker now to Carney again. Goes over the net. Joust coming. Schrader wins it. Notre Dame will pick up the point after Carney came across the halfway line.
Irish did a great job there of regaining their composure. There were a couple times where it looked like they got a bit out of their rhythm. There was the one play over where Monson almost made a play on a ball that one of our teammates got to, but Notre Dame was able to organize themselves back each time and put themselves in a position to ultimately secure that point, bring us back to even.
Baker to the slide of Frankie, and it's successful for the kill.
Great shot there from Frankie, who's had a great start to this match so far. Usually known for her role on the block. She's 15th in Wake's program history in that department.
Sample with the push set, too far out of the reach of Palazzolo.
But with Frankie, even though she's a senior, she actually hasn't played quite as much this year, only 60 sets, and that's something that Coach Smart has talked about as a big reason for the turnaround of Wake Forest. You know, some of these seniors were playing a lot over the last couple of years, but they've stepped into smaller and more specialized roles, and even though obviously everyone wants the playing time, they haven't complained. They've gone out and done their jobs, and it's a huge reason why Wake has been so solid throughout this season. Never lost more than 2 games in a row at any point.
Coach talked about everyone knows their specific role on the team, which attributes them, which allowed them to be so successful.
Yeah, they're definitely a team that, you know, to use the old cliche, they're greater than the sum of their parts. And that's a dangerous type of team to face come the postseason because there's just no obvious way to beat them or one player that you can feel comfortable about winning if you're able to shut down.
Notre Dame picks up the point. Once again, Carney coming in contact with the net. Notre Dame within 2. Wake Forest within 5 of trying to pick up this first set.
And Nicole Drunick and Lucy Trump both back in. 2 of Rockwell's most trusted players sensing an opportunity here. Notre Dame has really clawed their way back into this set after it looked like for a moment that Wake Forest was going to have a chance to really step into the driver's seat.
Palazzolo with a laser.
Well, before coming to Notre Dame, Cindy Palazzolo racked up all kinds of accolades during her time with High Pounded in the Big South Conference. And that skill set has definitely translated over to the ACC. What a great season for her, and only a junior as well. Notre Dame does not take a lot of undergraduate transfers as a university, especially in athletics, but she has made it in here and made an impact.
Drunick came over the net. Called by Rod Rodriguez, first referee.
And we have a good vantage point of that from our angle, more so from the Notre Dame side than Wake Forest with where the official is, and I thought that was a good call.
Drunick tight to the net.
What an effort there.
Crawford has it blocked. Set to Crawford again, and Crawford can't get over the net.
It's a great effort by Willock, who was the captain for this Wake team a year ago. But Notre Dame able to stand strong there at the net and bring this back within 1 point.
Palazzolo commits a service error.
It's a big opportunity here for Wake Forest, up to a chance really to take control of this. If Wake goes to their game plan and executes it well, Notre Dame's not going to get the ball back to serve at all in this set. If you leave teams like Notre Dame in, even though they've struggled lately, the Irish certainly have enough talent to take advantage. If you make mistakes like that, Notre Dame's going to get it back right away off a service error of Wake's own.
Wake opens the door for Hattie Monson and the Fighting Irish within one. Talked about how close these two teams have played, showing it here in this first set. Monson floats it over. Palazzolo can't dig it out. Wake regains confidence and will pick up a big point there. Bringing Ava Torrance to serve. A timeout will be taken by Coach Rockwell to talk things over. Another close match here you have to expect between these two teams, getting it here in set one.
Yes, certainly. This is going to be the third time in 4 sets that these two teams have played this year that's going to be decided by no more than 4 points, and could be even closer depending on how things shake out in these last couple points.
For Wake, they sit in a very big... Torrance back to serve. Off the tape. Monson passes to Trump. Baker to Crawford. Attacking error. Notre Dame back within one. They'll send Lucy Trump, the sophomore, to serve.
Yeah, Crawford, someone whose offensive game is still coming along, and understandable as a sophomore, and just got underneath that one there, maybe trying to do a little bit too much.
Trump with the service ace. We're back tied at 23.
That's a great shot there by Lucy Trump. I'm not sure if maybe Willock got a bit of a slow jump, but sometimes you just have to give credit to the server, and for Lucy Trump, a perfectly placed shot brings us back even once again.
And it's a timeout from Coach Smart, understanding how vital set one is for the remainder of this match and creating that momentum. If you're Coach Rockwell, what are you saying in this huddle?
At this point right now, Notre Dame's focus has to be on just not making mistakes. Wake has shown in this first set that they're capable of beating themselves. They've made some unforced errors, some opportunities that they've let go by the wayside. I think if you're Notre Dame right now, you just have to try to stay composed and let them try to beat themselves. See if just the longer these points have gone, Notre Dame has been able to wear Wake down, it seems like, a couple of times. So I think of Coach Rockwell, I'm just focusing on the fundamentals right now and trying to execute every play just simply and just do it well. And that's something that I think is going to be a general theme for Notre Dame throughout these final few games of the season. As like you said, she knows that these games matter, even though it might not during Notre Dame's postseason fate, certainly. They're going to teach this team things and help them learn skills that can hopefully help them next year when they look to be in position like Wake, where they're in big games late in the year.
For Notre Dame, they only lose 2 seniors in McDowell and Drunick. We talked about Monson and Tarnoff coming back. Huge gifts for Coach Rockwell to return for their 5th year. Standing that every moment here the rest of the season is a touchstone for next season.
Yeah, I think next year is going to be a big year for Notre Dame because they have a lot of sophomores and juniors that make up their key players. So those players will all be upperclassmen. Some of the juniors might be heading into their last years with Notre Dame. So that's the type of year where you really start to shift that focus from rebuilding to like, we're ready to get going and win now. And Very wants to make that transition as easy as possible.
From Trump to Tarnoff, it's not how you draw it up, but it gets the job done.
Sometimes the instincts are just your best friend. Lauren Tarnoff just throwing a fist at that ball, just doing whatever she can to try to get over, and she winds up putting it in an absolutely perfect spot.
Notre Dame at set point. Trump has it go out of bounds. Wake picks up point. Tied at 24, gotta win by 2 to claim the set. So at least we're going to 26 in this first set.
That's how many points Wake needed to win set one when these two teams played earlier this year. See if we get some deja vu.
To Lang. Farrell digs it out. Schrader tried to dump it off. Farrell was there though. Ogagar with a big swing and a kill.
Just a beautiful 1-2 punch there. Just a quick setup by Ryan Baker. Wasted no time at all getting that ball in the air, putting on a bit of a line, which made it so easy for Ogagar to just swing her fist in. She drills home the go-ahead point for the Demon Deacons.
Wake now at set point. Schrader to Tarnoff, trying to go cross court. Carney, Monson digs it out over the net. Ogagar on the slide. Goes out of bounds. Irish pick up the point. Back tied at 25.
What an effort by Hattie Monson. I'm sure Coach Rockwell's thinking over on the sideline, thank goodness I get to have her for another year. That was a game-saving, or a set-saving play, I should say. Full-out extension, able to get underneath that ball and execute it perfectly to extend the set, and Wake Forest unable to capitalize on another opportunity.
Manitsis over the net. Carney. Tarnoff on the slide, trying to dip it over, and does. A dip and dunk for Lauren Tarnoff.
Well, that's where an aggressive back block can backfire. Carney got so up so quickly that she just wasn't in a position where she was able to come down and make a play on the ball, and when she fell, made it tougher for Ogagar coming behind her as well to step in and try to save it.
Irish on set point. Carney flat-footed. Palazzolo with the push. Carney again. Trump with the swing. With a fist, Ogagar gets it over. Monson tries to chase it down. It hits off the antenna, but it'll go Wake Forest way. Notre Dame looking to have some miraculous defense. Can't get there. Back tied at 26.
Just a really unfortunate bounce there. Great job by the Irish trying to save it on the scramble drill. That looked like the point a couple moments ago where Tarnoff just punched it over in terms of the frenetic energy of it, but this time the Irish don't get the bounce.
Phillips in to serve. Palazzolo with a monstrous kill.
That ball was an absolute rocket. I mean, you could hear how hard that came off of Kendall Phillips from throughout Purcell Pavilion and maybe even outside. Another opportunity for the Irish to put this away.
Baker with the dump.
What a crafty play by the sophomore Ryan Baker. She was looking to her left like she was just going for a traditional setup and then whips it back over. A gutsy play with the game on the line, but that's what it takes in these long sets to prevail sometimes. She keeps it going.
Palazzolo on the deflection. Notre Dame back at set point.
Beautiful cross-court feed there, and because of that, Wake Forest was not able to get their blocks set up the way that they have when they've been successful in this set, and Palazzolo takes advantage.
Both teams don't have any timeouts left, so we're playing volleyball until we got a winner here in set one. Farrell up to Carney. Benitez can't chase it down, and we're tied at 28.
Unbelievable. I mean, this is high-pressure volleyball right here, and I'm sure these Wake Forest fans who are in attendance, their hearts beating through their chest right now, knowing how important it is to get off to a strong start, how important this game is.
Schrader up to McDowell. Monson can't dig it out. And now Wake Forest sits at set point, 29-28. This first set keep going. The Demon Deacons pick it up. Schrader to Palazzolo. Monson from the ground. Crawford dumps it across. Baker up to Crawford, mistimed. Palazzolo on the deflection, dug out. Trump dipping over, Baker digs. Crawford through the block. Schrader behind the back to Palazzolo, set down. Olivia Frankie. Wake Forest wins set one with everything they had. Serve it over. Baker. Quickly up to Slater. And Slater with the kill to keep Wake's momentum alive here in set two.
That's the type of precise passing that you see from Wake Forest at their best. They've been best known really as a defensive team this year in terms of where they sit in some key stat categories in the ACC. When their offense is clicking, it's certainly a sight to watch.
Slater. Drunick chases it down behind the back, up to Palazzolo in the back line. A big kill to even at one.
I believe the ball was tipped on the block, and a good effort from Baker, who's been playing some outstanding volleyball over the last couple matches for Wake Forest, but really just no chance for her right there.
Baker up to Ogagar, and Ogagar sets it down.
Seen Ogagar involved in those plays a couple times, both as a setter and as the finisher, or those quick, almost line drive sets. Just allow you to get the ball off so quickly before the block can really even get set up.
And if you're Notre Dame, can't really set up the defense when it's coming off the hand that quick.
Absolutely not.
Lang. Baker pushes it through the net. Tarnoff retains control. Palazzolo launches it into the seats. Wake up two.
I don't know how that point stayed on as long as it did. Usually those plays like that are on the net where two players collide or meet at the point of attack right away. Almost certainly ends the set right then and there. Certainly had some interesting moments so far in this one. We're only a set and a couple points in.
Crawford couldn't swing it over the net.
Just a simple miss hit there from Crawford, but Coach Smart trusts her. She said she's basically the only member of this Wake Forest team who really never leaves the court, even though she is a sophomore. And just consistently delivers good matches when all is said and done, even though obviously every player is going to make some mistakes, and a miss hit right there, but
Monson digs it out. Crawford has to go off the deflection.
At the end of the day, Coach Smart always knows that, mistakes are going to happen. Obviously, they are for any player, but when you look at her stat line and look at the film at the end of the day, usually, if not always, her performance is a solid one for this Wake team. And a nice bounce back from her right there.
Trump off the deflection. And Lucy Trump, sophomore, gets the kill.
Yeah, led Notre Dame last year with 252 kills, almost 3 a set. And see how some of the Wake seniors have stepped into smaller roles. Well, Trump, a sophomore, has not necessarily taken a back seat to some of the transfers in Palazzolo and Drunick, but she's been asked to do different things, and still throughout that able to be successful.
A great save. Pancake from Farrell.
What an all fours right there.
Palazzolo hard off the block. Ogagar on the slide, just in front of Monson.
Emily Ogagar has really found her groove in this game, just right over the top of the 6'3" Palazzolo, which is even harder than it sounds to do. Already 4 kills for her in this one.
Trump off the block. Irish pick up the point.
Grogar, this is the third stop in her college career. It began at Illinois State, then a couple years at West Virginia, where she was top 5 for them in both kills and blocks a couple years ago, and outstanding last year in her first season with Wake Forest.
Baker off the tap set. Baker to Carney. Baker Carney again, blocked by McDowell and Trump. Tied at 5.
That was another cross-court setup, which you talked about are difficult to defend, but Wake Forest just went back to the well one too many times. And McDowell moving almost in sync with her teammate right there.
And another dump from Ryan Baker.
That's something Notre Dame is going to officially have to be on notice now. That's twice Baker has used her eyes as deception, selling the set and then quickly just spinning that ball right over the net. It's such a deadly move when it's executed perfectly, and she's done so twice already in this one.
The no-looker. Dowell. Baker chases it down, up to Carney. Too far out of the reach of Anitsis. Carney, the freshman, came in ranked 57th in the 2023 class, ranked by PrepVolleyball.com. Showing off here today, leading the way with 7 kills for Wake. Palazzolo with a kill of her own.
Palazzolo closing in on 400 kills on this season. Not something that a lot of players are able to do, especially in a conference like the ACC, which is going to send at least 4 teams to the NCAA tournament this year, if not quite a few more as well. Wake Forest certainly hoping to be one, of course, and plays like that will get them there.
Javier Frankie sets it down, finds the opening. Wilwack back in. Drunick back in for Notre Dame. Schrader. Free ball over the net. Drunick tried to bring it back over the joust.
I think she might have reached over, but it wasn't going to matter anyway.
Set down by Wake. Malak ducks it over the net. Monson tried to get out, but it's an ace.
Not something you see a lot of from this Wake Forest team. Last in the ACC, averaging just 1.17 service aces per set. But a big one there since Notre Dame to a timeout.
She has been playing her best volleyball down the stretch in that setter position.
Absolutely, already 19 assists so far in this one. So you look at what she's done in the last 3 matches, chipped in 3 digs as well. Coach Smart said the big difference between her this year and last year is this year she's firmly settled into the college game. Last year still had some of those tendencies from high school that can get exposed at the higher level. This year she's played like a more experienced player. Even though she's only a sophomore, she's looked fantastic so far today.
Palazzolo. Palazzolo off the block. Baker up to Crawford. Goes out of bounds. Notre Dame picks up the point. There's something to be said for getting a full year under your belt of playing collegiate volleyball. Both what that means is also having the off-season training as well if you're Baker, because you come in, it's a fall sport, you get thrown right in to training and getting right into competition. Have the full off-season as a beautiful set from Baker there goes to Wake Forest, and you're able to grow and develop into what Randy Smart wants.
Absolutely, and Smart's talked about the importance of her entire coaching staff and engineering that big turnaround from Wake Forest. Like we said, just 1 win 3 years ago in 2020, and that time with the coaching staff throughout this Wake Forest roster certainly paying off.
A light tap by Charity McDowell. Her 2nd kill of the day. Now Hattie Monson to serve. Slater has it dug out. Slater again. Off the tape and gets the kill. Ava Torrance back out. Hoosier native from Avon, Indiana. Transferred in from Purdue as well. Has been huge on this serve all year long for Wake.
Yeah, just shy of 100 digs last year, and she's more than doubled that total this year, well over 200 this season. Building off the career year last year with another one, and this campaign as a grad student.
Schrader can't corral it.
This is the same spot we were in the first set. 13-8, Wake Forest has taken a couple points in a row. They're starting to build up that momentum. Notre Dame was able to stabilize things and turn it into a dogfight. We'll see if Wake Forest is able to pull away this time or if Notre Dame keeps it close once again.
Tarnoff can't find the hardwood. 14-8, and if Notre Dame just have to try and limit those errors, be self-inflicting.
Yeah, just a little bit rushed there, I think, from Tarnoff. Didn't need to hit it over right there. Tried to make a quick play, kind of like we've seen Baker do at times in this game, and wound up just rushing it. That's the risk of those no-look hits or those quick strike attacks, is that, yeah, when they work, they're great, but they're really hard to execute.
Baker up to Crawford. A big block from Tarnoff and Schrader. You see the emotion from Fiona Schrader.
Yeah, they know the importance of this type of situation in a match when you're down by 5 or 6 points. It's vital to keep things close and get late early in sets like this if you don't find a way to go on a bit of a run, and a huge celebration, as you said there, from Schrader.
Schrader always has the emotion on her face. Tried to sneak it in. Can't do so. Wake back to the attack.
And someone in Schrader who's played very consistently, as we mentioned, since her freshman year. All 42 sets 2 years ago, all 28 matches she started last year. You know, the investment level in this program for her and for all these players, very high, but especially someone who's been around through the coaching change. Notre Dame made a couple of years ago, and hoping to do whatever Notre Dame can in these last couple matches to make building things back up just a little bit easier next fall.
And you talk about an athlete, that's what Fiona Schrader is. She has played opposite, outside hitter, middle blocker, and setter for this Irish over her career. When the team has needed her to take on a new role, she has done so with complete joy in making sure that she can complete it to the best of her abilities.
Absolutely, and last year stepping up in big situations aimed at both the Quest of the Crown and the Bulldog Brawl all tournament teams, taking advantage of some of those bigger opportunities. There are certain players that when you get into those big games, as it gets another point there to bring the lead back up to 5, that can really elevate their games. And you just never know how players are going to respond until they get in those situations. Wake Forest obviously very close to finding that NCAA tournament, which has proved elusive throughout their history.
Service error gets Irish back to the service line.
That's one thing Wake has done a great job of this year, is treating every game like a big game, because you have to take advantage of those quote-unquote easier opportunities if you're going to make the NCAA tournament. You can't have room for letdowns, and the consistency what they played in this year, very impressive.
Carney with a big swing and a fast kill.
I believe we mentioned this earlier, like Notre Dame, Wake Forest got to a very hot start this year. Began the year 6-0. Actually, like Notre Dame, an identical 8-2 start for Wake Forest. The big difference has come down to losing streaks. Notre Dame's on a big one right now. Wake Forest has avoided them all season long.
Trump with a strong kill. Gets a necessary point for the Irish. Try and close in on the Demon Deacons. The Irish on a 9-game losing streak. Trying to right the ship here in their final game inside Purcell Pavilion. And it's an ace for Lucy Trump. Irish within 3. Lucy Trump tried to go corner fishing, comes up empty. Wake back onto the attack.
Yeah, maybe a bit too aggressive after getting the ace. Wanted to try to go for the back-to-back and winds up hitting the ball over to the Deacons.
Lowak now to serve. Keller, Texas native. Drunick will have it chase. Rob Rodriguez had to squat out of the way there a little bit.
Yeah, thankfully that was not one of the higher velocity shots of the night. I think we'll be able to shake that one off pretty easily. There have certainly been some shots tonight that you do not want to catch squarely, and thankfully that was not one of them.
Palazzolo can't have it climb over the net. Demon Deacons 5 away from capturing this second set.
This is what Wake wasn't able to do in the first set. They've kept Notre Dame at arm's reach. They're the ones now letting the Irish make some of the mistakes. And a deep breath there from Crawford out of this serve, knowing how close the Demon Deacons are, taking a stranglehold.
McDowell can't get it into the hardwood. It'll be a timeout from Coach Rockwell. She wants to talk things over to use her final timeout of this second set before it gets too far out of reach. ACC has a firm grasp in the RPI if you're in the 40s right now between these two teams. Once again, speaking to the level that the Atlantic Coast Conference is time and time again in volleyball. You see it right there. 44, 45, 46, and 47 are all ACC schools. Like we talked about, something if you're below 30, you're firmly in. If you're around 40 and above, that's where you start to get into that bubble conversation, and you have to really do a lot to try and help yourself out.
Yeah, it can work against you when you have so many teams grouped so closely. You know, the odds that all 4 teams from one conference who are in similar position are going to make the NCAA tournament probably pretty slim. Right now, Wake Forest has a slight upper hand on that pack. One slip up though, and they instantly fall behind, barring other similar mishaps from those other 3 teams as well, of course. As we said, they have 3 very winnable games to close the season. And I think that in a couple of days, if Wake Forest is sitting in the NCAA tournament, they're going to be looking at that first set against Notre Dame here tonight as a turning point. So many times their back was against the wall, on the verge of falling behind and losing a set to the Irish for the first time this year. And they were somehow able to find a way to keep battling, keep pushing forward, and eventually take that set. And now you see them in set 2, really starting to find their confidence. A comfortable 7-point lead right now, looking to close it out.
Also a key programming note for volleyball in general. Selection show will be on ESPN for the first time in its history on the Sunday after Thanksgiving. Should be a good one there on ESPN. Off the timeout, Fiona Strader with the kill.
It's a nice reflection, too, of the growth that volleyball has seen this year even. Obviously, the big Nebraska game earlier in the year, played inside the football team stadium, made all kinds of headlines, and no doubt about it, a sport on the rise in popularity, and it's shown here in South Bend all year.
Monson up to Palazzolo. Monson digs it out. Drunick to Lang. Notre Dame will pick up the point off the double touch, and we talk to coaches week in and week out for production calls, and one thing every coach has echoed is get on the volleyball train. It is coming to this sport quickly, and people are watching it. So get aboard now, and it's really exciting. Here in South Bend in a packed Purcell Pavilion here today, it really shows you the growth volleyball's having.
Yeah, the fans at Notre Dame have certainly gotten the memo this year. Attendance up almost 100% from last year, up about 200% since Lynn Rockwell took over 2 years ago. And that's with an Irish team that's struggled throughout this season, even in ACC play. Can't imagine what this place could look like if Southern Rockwell is able to achieve those goals and build the Irish up to a top of the conference program.
Wake picks up a big point there, setting them 3 away from closing out this second set. Something that Rockwell echoed to us was how involved she wants to be in the community. To understand that she's got to show face in the community. Notre Dame is a community school, understanding that has a small student population. You have to go tap into the community to get people there. And it's a big block for Ogagar and Wake Forest, who now sit at set point to try and capture this second.
Ogagar once again having a fantastic game for Wake Forest. Came through a lot in those extra points in the first set as well too, and has Wake at set point, try to go up 2-0.
Schrader off the deflection of Baker.
It was a headhunter there for Baker, who was just able to get her hands up in time and deflect that one away. Sarge looked to see another point.
Johnson can't get it over the net. And Wake Forest pick up the second set in demanding fashion. They have 2 pocketed in their pockets. Irish
Key for Wake Forest is, can they make those set-up passes consistently, put themselves in good position to finish points off? So far, so good on both fronts.
Wake picks up where they left off, picking up the first point.
Just miscommunication there between Lang and Drunick. I think Lang thought that Drunick was going to go for the ball, and that led to a late break from the freshman. Despite the diving effort, came up short.
Drunick up to Palazzolo. She gets it through the block. Sydney Palazzolo coming into today second in the ACC in kills per set at 3.86. Dominant here today with 8. Too far out of the reach. Demon Deacons pick up the point.
And on her most efficient day, hitting percentage just under 100 so far, and 5 errors for her as well. But even when she's off a little bit, certainly can have those powerful moments that can change the feeling of the set. We'll see if she can have some more of those here and try to help Notre Dame claw back into this.
Drunick up to Schrader. McDowell trying to push it over. Schrader on the hop.
Good quick strike there from Schrader. Got her arm moving really quickly and just caught Emma Farrell flat-footed. Barrow was on her heels there for the Demon Deacons and was not able to step into this ball to make a play.
Slater has it blocked by Tarnoff and Lang.
Block for Notre Dame has been really strong in this game. They've only been credited with 4 blocks so far here tonight, and that one should be number 5, but really feels like they've made a bigger impact on this game than you see in the stat broadcast.
Service error has his 3rd set tied up at 3.
8th service error so far for Notre Dame in this one. It's been some big ones too as well. They had one on a set point opportunity, I believe, earlier back in that marathon of a first set. How different things could have been.
Took 5 extra points for Wake to claim set 1. They didn't look back in set 2 and starting to build momentum here in set 3.
They've also got the edge in kills on the Irish as well in this one. Really just looking across the board, Wake Forest has been just a little bit better than Notre Dame in every category. A court maintenance there. Schrader with the assist.
Do you think they put that one in the stat sheet?
Hasn't updated yet, but we'll check back in a minute.
Lang, hard swing. Ava Lang with the kill.
That one will certainly register for Lang. 5 for her today, 3rd most on this Irish roster. As the freshman able to get to the outside and then come back to the ball. Really just power through that one and get it around the block by taking a nice angle to it initially.
Lang from the ground gets it over. Wow. Monson chases it down. Lang goes chase it, brings it back. Palazzolo across the net. Ogagar with the light tap. Tarnoff there. Tarnoff can't get it over.
Tremendous effort from Ava Lang, though. I think she thought that first one from Tarnoff was going to spin over initially and kind of caught surprise when it wound up almost in her lap. But able to make two really impressive plays there along the side. And Selima Rockwell certainly pleased with the energy level there from the freshman.
Schrader on the hop set. Back time at 5. Ava Lang now to serve.
Seen the first two sets of this match take on a similar personality. Back and forth early on, then Wake Forest starts to pull away in the middle part of the set. Notre Dame was able to bring that gap to a close in set 1. Set 2, the Wake Forest took over a bit more and they get back on top right here.
And now Ogagar. Serve on the other side. Ogagar's got speed as well. 3-year member of our high school track team. See her so much on the slide. Has that speed. There couldn't find the hardwood. Back tied at 6.
And someone who's been a workhorse throughout her college career, wherever she's gone. Even that first year at Illinois State, only missed 10 sets, was second on our team with over 100 blocks and closing in on the century mark this season as well.
Baker tried to dump it off there, unsuccessful. Irish had the defense. This time off the block, Notre Dame couldn't find its way back over the net.
A tough bounce off of Tarnoff there, who checks out right now after Wake was able to get the block. That one just ricocheted off her so fast, had no chance to react, and it falls in no man's land for a Wake Forest point. Great job in mid-air, too, by Carney to pivot. Make sure she got a piece.
Trump tried to get over the block. Palazzolo tipped it off the deflection of the block. Tied at 7. We're playing a little tic-tac-toe going back and forth here in this third set.
Yeah, we are on the seesaw right now, no doubt about it, Jake. No separation so far in this third set, and that certainly favors the home side.
Baker. Up to Frankie. Goes out of bounds. Notre Dame up by 1. Carney.
Well, that is a perfectly placed shot. Just inside the line, under the arms of Monson. You cannot draw that up any better from Ava Carney.
Freshman, such a mature volleyball player. Feels like she's been playing volleyball at the collegiate level for years.
Yeah, number 57 in her recruiting class, also earned an invite to the U.S. Volleyball National Team Development Program. So certainly someone whose talents are known, not just at Wake, but throughout the volleyball world.
Schrader, looking like a set, goes into offensive mode and swings it.
And the same for Fiona Schrader as well, a captain herself in high school. Over 150 kills and over 300 digs last year, really taking a big step forward in her production, and more of the same for her this season.
Have to call back over Ava Lang to double check to make sure they got the subbing pattern right.
Official explaining it to Selima Rockwell right now. Lang will have to wait.
Not be allowed to sub in for the play. Monson can't dig it back into fair territory, and now sub will come, and Ava Lang will finally get onto the hard court.
Break for Menezes, who's played very well so far in this contest. 87 sets coming into tonight for the freshman who's gotten a lot of experience.
And McDowell, off a couple of deflections, picks up the point for the Irish. Monson with the laser over. Drunick to Lang. Off the deflection, Ava Lang.
It's a well-placed shot there by Lang there. Was able to get it on the outside of the far blocking defender's arm and just play the angle perfectly.
Monson to serve. Baker to Slater. Goes out of bounds. Notre Dame staying hot.
Good job from Drunick getting out of the way there. So often your instincts can just take over on that and you lose sense of exactly where you are on the court, but she pulls back and lets that ball zoom past and go to the sideline.
Monson gets it across. Baker. Lang has it sat down. Monson there to provide some defense. Joust again. Monson was still there to provide coverage. Ogagar missed time. Farrell's there to clean it up. Schrader off the deflection. Tarnoff. Farrell again. Ogagar pushes it across. What a point. Slater. Irish with the hard-fought point. They're on a 4-0 scoring run.
Some great efforts from both sides to save it, and the largest lead of the night for Notre Dame is going to force a timeout from Randy Smart.
Notre Dame on a 4-0 scoring point, had a little bit of everything. Notre Dame came out on the winning side of it.
Yeah, great effort there. You see right off the start on the block from Ogagar, who's been fantastic so far for Wake Forest. They try to set up Slater on the far side. The Irish get bodies there. A well-timed block from Tarnoff and Lang, and it's one of the crazier points we've seen on it, where there have been quite a few lengthy ones.
Coach Smart uses one of her timeouts. Monson serves it over the net. Monson sends it into the seats. Paige Crawford gets the kill and responds off the timeout, ending Notre Dame's scoring run.
Yeah, big point there for Wake Forest. We talked about this being the critical part of the match when they were ahead in these situations in the first two sets. Got a nail biter in the first when they were able to put it away. Second set, much better. And Ogagar, once again, delivering for the Demon Deacons.
Set on a platter for her. She said, "Thank you very much." Torrance.
Not only is she able to make a difference a lot, but a very efficient player as well. Hit percentage over 300 last year, well over that mark again in 2023.
Lang. Palazzolo digs it out. Lang. Up to 19, and Schrader puts too much on it. Wake Forest picks up the point.
And it's not quite in sync there. It's just what she's been at when she's been at her best tonight, and she has been quite a few times. She's got a little out of rhythm. All of a sudden, 3 straight from Wake Forest brings us back to within 1.
Lang with a strong swing. Baker. Crawford. Point will go Notre Dame's way after double touch.
Yeah, quite a few of those early whistles going against Wake Forest for going on the net now. A couple double touches we've seen as well. Some uncharacteristic mistakes. Notre Dame will certainly take it.
That stops the Demon Deacons' 3-0 scoring run. Crawford. Off the deflection. Back one within Notre Dame.
Ava Carney back in for Wake. Already 10 kills for her. That's a game high so far.
And it's an ace from Paige Crawford. Back tied at 14. Just when Wake was looking up at Notre Dame, they're back even. Big thanks to Paige Crawford's on the service line.
5 of the last 6 now have gone in favor of Wake.
Lucy Trump responds, get Notre Dame the lead back.
Irish have had some success on that left side, it feels like tonight, more than they've been on the right. And just a well-placed shot there from Lucy Trump to restore the Irish lead.
Lang steps up. Torrance over. Ogagar in front of Lang, sits it down.
Already 9 kills for Ogagar on this contest. I just sent that one down in a hurry, and Tarnow wasn't able to come in, trying to keep that play alive.
Ogagar now to serve. Palazzolo on the run. What a point for Sydney Palazzolo. Receives the serve, gets it up to Fiona Schrader, sets it, and then gets the kill in motion.
Yeah, talk about a player who can do it all. That's what made her such an attractive candidate, and she was in the transfer portal. Zimmer Rockwell certainly happy that she's picked her up.
Carney off the deflection.
Yeah, Menendez had committed to diving for the ball initially, and then once it got tipped by Trump, just no chance for her to recover. We are back even once again.
Ryan Baker, who came into today 8th in the ACC in assists per set at 8.20. Having a good one here today as well. Trump over the net. Frankie. Palazzolo on the deflection.
Irish have done a good job whenever Wake has been able to challenge them and get the score back even. They've been able to maintain their lead for quite a while now. And the cross-court setup gets the block in motion. Palazzolo puts it over and puts Notre Dame back ahead.
Carney. Nates digs it out. Trump from the back. Carney sits it down.
Well, if Wake Forest is indeed in the NCAA tournament, teams are going to have the 2 number 20s on their team circled. Carney 21, Ogagar number 23, and tonight providing plenty of positive film for both.
Both leading first and second in kills respectively, in Carney and Ogagar with 11 and 9. Wake picks up another point. And now that will be a timeout from Coach Salima Rockwell. A big reason why she's got to take this timeout is Ava Carney, who's been so solid on the attack for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, first time Wake Forest has led since it was 6-5 earlier in this set. And since that timeout, a big change in momentum for Wake Forest. Outscored Notre Dame 9-4 since then. A huge turning point, it looks like right now. And once again, back in front with momentum on their side, moving closer and closer towards putting this one away.
It's been Ava Carney, who's been so fabulous, leading the way with 11 kills, hitting at a .226 hitting percentage so far today on 31 attacks. It's been fabulous.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about how Carney was just a highly talented recruit, and for some players it can take a while to get set in, but for Ava Carney, it's just been consistency after consistency. I mean, her last 5 games, 11, 12, 14, 14, and 14 kills to help Wake Forest progress throughout this season. She has been fantastic in double-digit kills almost every single night for this Wake Forest team, and I'm someone you can rely on so consistently like that on offense. Just makes everything else around setting up your strategy and game plan that much easier.
Wake leading by 1 here.
Such a key part of Wake Forest's resurgence this year has been their play away from home. They are 10-5 combined between road and neutral site games. It was just last year where they were 4-7 on the road. In a season where they went 17-4, that really made the difference between them. 8-10 in ACC play, turned that into 7-4 instead of 4-7. They might have broken that NCAA tournament drought last year. They found a way to calm themselves down, do whatever it takes to find a way to win in some of these more hostile environments. And they're on the verge of doing so again here tonight.
Trump off the tape. Crawford. Trump again. Bullock going for it. Slater pushes it through, off the touch. Wake now leading by 2.
By Slater again, knowing the angle, knowing where you are on the floor. She saw the block come up, knew she had an opportunity to push it off them with the sideline so close. And was able to take advantage. And how about the save earlier in that sequence from Emma Farrell? We've talked about the efforts by Hattie Monson to keep points alive a lot in this night. That was a great play by Farrell to extend the Wake lead.
Palazzolo off the deflection. Big kill. Notre Dame back within 1. With their backs against the wall, they gotta win this one to try and keep the match going.
And Nicole Drunick comes back in. So we thought Rockwell might rely on more experienced players. Sure enough, the grad student back in with this one on the line.
An ace for Sydney Palazzolo. When Notre Dame needed it the most, she delivers. Back tie to 19.
2 straight points there from Palazzolo.
Baker up to Frankie. Monson behind the back just gets it across. McDowell sits it down.
Yeah, I think she caught Ava Carney just in between a little bit there. Wasn't sure if that ball was going to come down on her side or she should go up for the block. And McDowell, just the authoritative slam. A little bit like we've seen from Baker so far. Just no wasted motion, just getting it downhill as quickly as possible.
Palazzolo goes sliding for it. Back tie at 20. Starting to see a little similarities like we saw in set 1 here, Andrew.
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly has that down to the wire feel of it. Obviously, even right now with 5 points left, it's go time for both of these sides. No time to wait around.
Drunick back in for the Irish. Palazzolo. Crawford sat down by Schrader.
4th block of the night for Fiona Schrader, tied with Lauren Turnoff for the most on this Notre Dame team, and the most in this game, in fact. She was right up there with McDowell in perfect position to send that one down to the hardwood.
Turnoff with a block. Notre Dame firing on all cylinders right now when they've needed it the most. It'll be enough for a timeout from Coach Smart. Talk things over with her team. Notre Dame fighting hard, try and see a set 4.
Yeah, and going back to that first set, excuse me, Wake Forest, it was a close set, obviously, but Wake Forest was the ones in the driver's seat late. So this is the first time in this match Notre Dame's really been in position, not in a do or die situation, in extra points with a chance to put this one away. So we'll see if they're able to take advantage of this opportunity and extend this match.
And it's a big reason why is Fiona Schrader, second on the team with 8 kills right now. She has started to play her best here later in this match.
Yeah, and her efficiency has really picked up as this match has progressed as well. A .333 hit percentage, just overpowering this Wake Forest defense from that right side. So effective, swinging the left arm forward, able to get to the middle here on this play and take advantage of what the defense has given her. And then the last effort on the block too as well, contributing on both sides of the ball. And putting this Irish team in a good spot late in set 3.
Notre Dame's calling upon fans in attendance. Try and bring the energy here. And a big third set. Notre Dame trying to right the ship. They're on a 9-game losing streak. Wake Forest on the other side, trying to take care of business. If they do, they could very easily make themselves an NCAA tournament team for the first time.
And part of the reason why we talked about, earlier in the broadcast about getting on the volleyball train, I mean, the energy level here, fantastic. Even with the home side down 2-0. Both benches, the crowd, they've been in it all night. Emotions very high throughout this contest.
Notre Dame, 2 points away. Bench is starting to feel it as well. Baker, up to Crawford. On the deflection, Deacons respond.
Well, what we talked about how Notre Dame maybe deserves a better fate than their record indicates. In 3 of their last 4 matches, Notre Dame has not been swept. The only time they were was by number 10, Georgia Tech. So they've been hanging in there with teams on a pretty consistent basis, and certainly based on how they play, especially in that first set, a sweep would have felt a bit unjust. But still work for them to do to close this out.
Schrader. Fiona Schrader staying dominant. Notre Dame at set point, trying to make it a 4th. Coach Rockwell urging her team to play with up-tempo here. Schrader across the net. Baker back up to Crawford, blocked. Farrell was there though. Monson passes to Lang on the deflection. Notre Dame picks up the 3rd set. We're gonna have a 4th.
That to be the case.
It's gonna take some effort indeed. Last time the Irish will play inside Purcell Pavilion. It's their senior night. Always want that senior night win. Can they get it? It's gonna take a lot. But they'll start with Palazzolo here in the 4th set to try and complete it.
And you remember last year, Notre Dame, when they played Wake Forest, they beat them in 5 sets right here. So the Irish know if they can win this one, they can feel good about their chances in that do-or-die situation, but they got to get there first.
Lang off the deflection. Farrell chases it down. Schrader has it blocked by Crawford.
Yeah, tough angle for a lefty there. A righty would be able to more easily go around the block and angle it towards the sideline, but a lefty's natural motion is taking them in towards that side. And it's a 1-0 lead for Wake Forest.
Drunick up to McDowell. Irish tie it back up at 1.
A little bit of ping pong there near the end, just going back and forth between a couple Wake Forest players and just weren't able to get it high enough to reset.
Slater off the block. Lane came down to ground, found it, touchdown right with her.
And Wake Forest, with a win tonight, would clinch at least a 500 record in conference play. They've been close the last couple of years, of course. Something that they have not been able to quite achieve during Randy Smart's coaching tenure.
Schrader off the top of the block. Drunick to Lang, and Lang finds the corner.
Perfectly placed shot there from Ava Lang. Sometimes there's nothing you can do to really defend a shot. You just have to tip your cap and move on to the next point. And the freshman once again showing off her stuff.
Baker. Trump with a strong swing. Lucy Trump finds the opening.
I like the decision from Schrader there to play that ball back. She could have tried to go over quickly, but there was no need to force it. Wake had bodies there to potentially set up their block, so she buys some time and space, which is always what you're looking for in sports, really no matter what the contest is. If you can get that, you're going to have success. Sets up Trump for a hard finish.
Crawford. Monson digs it out. Lang goes down with a fist. Schrader gets it over somehow. Baker tries to dump it off. Monson's there, though. Up to Crawford on the swing, blocked. Tarnoff flat-footed. Farrell digs it out. Baker on the reverse set, blocked again. Lang off the top of the tape. Farrell digs it out. Ogagar in the motion. And just too far out of Schrader's reach. You want to watch great volleyball. Today has been a great example.
Absolutely, and give Notre Dame credit for adjusting defensively. We saw Ryan Baker try the no-look dump attempt once again. This time the Irish were able to keep it going. Wake Forest stays composed and able to re-even this score once again.
Trump finds the opening and takes it.
Six kills today for Lucy Trump. Fourth on this Notre Dame team in points as well.
Baker up to Carney. Carney again. Great tap by Trump. Lauren Tarnoff.
Farrell just a little bit flat-footed there on the defense, and first time in this set that either side has opened up a multi-point lead. We've gone from 1-1 to 2-2 to 3-3, and Notre Dame with just the tiniest bit of breathing room.
Palazzolo gets the kill.
Just an absolutely perfect shot there, and Palazzolo, the righty, able to go around the block, find that corner just inside the sideline. And Notre Dame with a bit of mojo, starting to build after that set 3 win, and now off to an early lead really for the first time in this match.
Lauren Tarnoff takes the free ball and sets it down. And it's a timeout from Coach Smart. Notre Dame keeping the momentum rolling here. Indiana, Notre Dame on a 4-0 scoring run. Cindy Palazzolo has been the offensive weapon given fits for this Demon Deacons defense.
Yeah, absolutely, she's been a problem for every defense that had to face her, both from her first 2 years at High Point and this her first year in the ACC. Just such a powerful player. Even when you know that it's coming, you can see her wind up. It's not as easy as simply knowing what she's going to do to be able to stop her. You have to be in absolutely perfect position to execute flawlessly, because she's able to hit the ball so hard and so effectively. Timing has been on point throughout this contest. And as Notre Dame on a 5-0 run right now, after that point goes the Irish way.
Notre Dame picks up the point. Now Ava Lang continues on the scoring run.
I believe this is the longest run of the night for the Irish.
Baker will chase it down. Schrader up to Palazzolo, flirting with the line and gets it.
That's how you know when you're feeling it, when shots like that are going your way. As you said, Jake, just barely kept that one inside the back line, but it is 6 unanswered right now from Notre Dame.
Ava Lang put too much on it there. Wake Forest can finally take a breath and get back.
Such a tough way for a run like that to end. You always want the other team to beat you, especially when you're playing your best, because you feel like they can't. But Notre Dame with a bit of a stopping mistake there, and we'll see if Wake can make it this opportunity with the ball back in their hands. They cannot.
Commits a service error themselves, and Notre Dame, just as quickly as they let it get out of their grasp, pick it back up. Right now, Notre Dame and Wake Forest tied at 62.5% siding out right now. That's one of those key metrics. Whoever siding out better ultimately tends to win. And it's another service error, goes back to the other side.
Yeah, 3 straight service errors coming right there. It's 20% of the service errors we've had in this match just in those last couple minutes. Or, excuse me, 30% of the, no, I didn't write the first time. 20%.
Doing the quick math there in your head. Schrader, back up to Trump, blocked at the net.
There's a reason I'm on the mic and not on the stats. And so let's leave it at that.
Big block. Trying to get the pendulum to try and attempt to swing back over to the Deacons side. For it's been so much on the Notre Dame in these past 2. Trump off the deflection, kept alive though by Douglas. Baker off the tap, just out of the reach of Farrell. And Sydney Palazzolo, who else?
Yeah, the Wake Forest block just hasn't been as prevalent so far in this 4th set after it led them to the 2-0 lead, and Notre Dame finding ways to take that out of play here in this 4th set, and that's been the biggest boon for the Irish so far.
Baker up to Frankie. Frankie saw Manitsis and Monson come creeping in, had the opening and took it.
One of those quick kind of one-touch passes from Wake Forest tonight. Just hitting that ball up in an angle where the attacking player can just swing right at it. Doesn't have to wait at all or even barely come off the ground. That was also placed very well, too.
Schrader, Palazzolo. Frankie gets it over somehow with the forearm. Schrader takes the opportunity on the free ball and capitalizes.
Well, Frankie got it over, but in doing so, she left herself down and out, and that put the Wake Forest defense in chaos, and Schrader finds the open spot, going right up the gut. Put the Irish back ahead by 5.
Palazzolo. Baker up to Douglas, has it blocked by Lang and McDowell.
Well, the other big thing that's changed so far is that Notre Dame's efficiency has gone up, but Wake Forest has gone down as well. Notre Dame is the edge now in hitting percentage after they were basically being doubled up through 2 sets.
And Notre Dame hitting at a 224 clip to Wake Forest 203. Irish will have to go chase it down. McDowell will just pass it over. Frankie, joust at the net. Irish push it through. Baker with the dump, but they come over the net, and Coach Randy Smart out of her seat quickly.
And that was from that initial meeting between the 2 players as Coach Smart talks with the official there on the far side. Another no-look attempt from Baker that would have been successful. That would have made her 3 for 4 on those tries tonight. But it winds up not counting.
Miscue there. Notre Dame firing on all cylinders. Coach Smart gonna have to use her 2nd timeout. Notre Dame leading by 8 now on a 4-0 scoring run. This Notre Dame team starting to find themselves here in the past 2.
Yeah, an 8-point lead, their largest of the night so far. Palazzolo, Schrader in double figures in kills, Lang and Trump closing in as well. And those first 3 all at least a 200 hitting percentage as well, with Schrader up over 300.
For Notre Dame, everyone's contributing. It's Palazzolo with 15 kills. It's Schrader with 10, Lang with 8, Trump with 7, Tarnoff with 5, McDowell with 5. That's what makes Notre Dame have to imagine so hard to stop if you're Coach Smart, it's coming at you from so many different angles.
And it's been coming at you consistently as well, too. We talked about earlier how momentum can be a bad thing for a young team, but it can also be a good team. Notre Dame on a 4-0 run right now. They had a 6-0 burst earlier in this set to really kind of assert their authority when it was still 3-3, and that's a huge part of the difference right now, with Notre Dame currently leading by 8 at 15-7.
Coach Smart in the huddle trying to talk things over with her team, using her timeout quite early here, trying to push a comeback, and understands how big this game is for the Deacons season. They can win out. They can find themselves in the NCAA tournament for the first time. They fall short. They're going to need a lot of help elsewhere to try and make that history.
And Coach Smart, even despite this, he still trusts her team. She said he liked their demeanor after that tough loss to North Carolina on senior night a couple of weeks ago. So she knows, obviously, as we talked about, that they're capable from bouncing back from adversity and having to deal with some now that they maybe didn't anticipate when they're up 2-0, but they've been in similar situations before and found their way out of it.
Lang on the deflection. Farrell has to go running. Blocked by McDowell and Fiona Schrader. Schrader's face says it all right there.
What a night for those two as well. The senior McDowell, one of Notre Dame's most efficient players, with 5 kills and a hit percentage over 300, and has been crucial to the block's success too.
Wake Forest gets a necessary point. Sure, it doesn't get too far out of reach.
Yeah, the run has to come now from Wake Forest if it's going to come. This is similar position we talked about earlier. Wake was up 13-8, I believe it was, in the first 2 sets. One of those was close because Notre Dame made a run right at this point. The other wasn't because Wake Forest kept them at arm's reach. So these next 4 or 5 points, Wake really needs to go on a tear here if they're going to keep this from going the distance.
Schrader off the deflection. Fiona Schrader, her 11th kill of the night, continues to stay hot.
You can see the frustration there from Aubrey Douglas as that ball just kind of glanced off her hand. She had help from behind her, and Farrell, I don't know if she would have been able to get to that ball, but right now for Wake Forest, you just the feeling that their mentality is that just every ball seems to be bouncing against them.
Off the deflection, except that one. Charles gets the right bounce in time. Sometimes the broadcaster jinx.
Yeah, that can be a factor as well. The law of averages certainly too for this Wake Forest team. We know they're too talented. If they can just get in that right mentality, certainly not over yet, even though Notre Dame certainly happy with the position they're in.
Torrance gets it over the net. Schrader. Off of Monson's shoulder. Wake Forest trying to push here with Ava Torrance on the service line.
First time all set that Wake has taken consecutive points. They haven't even had a chance to go on a run so far. Maybe one here though.
Notre Dame gets the kill.
Excuse me, I thought that ball had gone long. Beg your pardon. Trump just fitting it inside the back line.
Schrader gets it over. Baker quickly up to Fish. Trump taps it down.
Lucy Trumpson doing most of her damage from distance so far in this game. But at 6 foot, not afraid to come up close and certainly capable of making those plays around the net front. We have a whistle here.
And we'll have a challenge, it looks like, from Coach Smart. Gonna go over to the monitor to look at it. Challenge in. If you're Coach Smart, you could use your challenge as a timeout, because if you know if you go to a 5th, you'll get 1 back here in this spot. Take a couple looks here.
believe this is going to be to see if Trump went over the net. The only thing I can really think of there.
And whether, once again, in these instant replays, you hear it all the time. It's got to be conclusive. Has to be enough there. Some fun times as Dockery pulling out the splits, going with the cheerleaders as well. Here we go. Here's the call. After the review, Notre Dame retains the point.
And the lengthier those reviews tend to be, they generally seem to favor the home team because you're taking that much time. It's hard to believe that it's going to wind up being a conclusive overruling, and sure enough, not the case here.
Off the deflection, proves to be beneficial for Wake Forest as Fish will go back. To serve. Carney back onto the floor. Lang, strong swing. Carney now. Lauren Turnoff with a 6th kill of the day. Finds the opening. Irish 5 away from picking up this 4th set.
We may have maybe mentioned Tarnoff's name quite as much as some of the other key players on this Notre Dame roster, but make no mistake about it, she is a vital cog to this Irish team. 26 starts a year ago, closing in on 100 kills this year. And has made some timely plays tonight.
Charles with the kill. Frankie comes back on. Charles now back to serve. How much of this Wake Forest, you have to imagine you're 8 points out with Notre Dame 5 away. It's building momentum into that 5th set right now.
Yeah, they're kind of in the position within this match that we talked about Notre Dame being in within their season. Now, they know at this point that it's pretty unlikely that they'll pull this out. This is probably going to a 5th set. But there are two ways, very different ways you can go there. One with Notre Dame feeling all the confidence in the world, and the other with Wake Forest sending a message to the Irish that, hey, they're not going to go away quietly.
Monson will just find a way to get it over the net. Monson was there to dig. Trump off of Phillips' platform.
A nice catch by a fan in the first row just to our left.
Staying alert.
Quick hands, to say the least.
Now Kaylee Dockery on for the Irish to serve. Someone that Coach Monson describes as a giver. Gives her team her full self day in and day out. Frankie on the slide. Benitez goes chasing for it. Baker. Frankie gets the big opening.
Great composure there from Notre Dame after a bit of an awkward hit by Monson to start the point off, and they were never quite able to get back in their groove within that point. And Frankie with an emphatic finish.
Now Ryan Baker to serve. Once she gets the quadrant designation from her bench. Palazzolo with the kill.
That's an absolute frozen rope there from Palazzolo underneath the diving Farrell. She got after that quickly too, but that was just a picture-perfect shot. One of many for Palazzolo on this night and on this season.
Phillips can't dig it out. And an ace for Lucy Trump. Trump today having a great day from the service line. 3 aces. Pick her up to Frankie. Double touch. Irish able to get the point. They now sit at set point with Lucy Trump serving. Lucy Trump can't get it over the net. Wake Forest within 9. They'll have their opportunity. Willock in off the bench to serve. Palazzolo with the kill. We're going to a 5th set. Pop some popcorn. Take a quick 2 sets in sets 3 and 4. You look at their offensive numbers. Their kill percentage jumped up to .415 in those 2, as well as hitting percentage. Offense became reliable and had a little more dimension to it.
Yeah, there's 2 really key trends that you've seen throughout this match. The first you see up there, the hit percentage and kill percentage for Notre Dame. Just much more efficient, much more clean. They've been doing a great job of taking the Wake Forest block out of this game over those last 2 sets. They got snuffed quite a bit early on. The other trend is that we've gone back and forth between close set and a bit of a blowout set. First set, there were 9 ties and 5 lead changes, 15 and 5 respectively in the third as well. Just 2 tied scores in the second, 3 in the fourth, and just 1 lead change combined, which means we are in for a barn burner, Jake, to close this one out.
It's gonna be a good one here in this 5th set. As a reminder to all fans, go to 15 points in this 5th instead of 25. They'll switch sides at 7. This is about as big as they come for both these 2 teams. For Notre Dame, they're trying to get a momentous win in their final game inside Purcell Pavilion. For Wake Forest, they're playing for postseason hopes.
Not to mention, of course, trying to send Nicole Drunick and Charity McDowell off the right way. Both of them playing very well in this contest for the Notre Dame team, which is feeling very loose. They know they've got nothing to lose coming into this 5th set. For Wake Forest, meanwhile, you see they're all business. This very well could be the moment that makes or breaks their NCAA tournament hopes.
Fiona Schrader has been fabulous for Notre Dame, hitting at a .320 mark with 11 kills on 25 total attacks and has 21 assists. She, along with the team, has gotten better though those past 2 sets.
Yeah, Schrader currently sitting at a triple-double right now. Having quite the night, 11 kills for her, 21 assists, and 12 digs as well, leading the Irish in assists and just 4 digs behind Monson for the Notre Dame team lead. Just doing it all truly for the Irish in this night.
Irish won the toss. They'll elect to serve first. Palazzolo, one of the ACC's best servers, gets us going in this 5th set. Notre Dame picks up the first point.
Had a good look at that one from our angle here with the scorer's table, and Baker definitely looked like she reached her hand over the net.
Coach Smart doesn't really contest. She goes back to her seat. Palazzolo serves it into the net.
Both of these teams with a decent amount of experience in 5-set matches this season. Notre Dame 4 and 3 in matches that have gone the distance. Wake Forest 4 and 4. A few moments, one of them will have win number 5 in those 5-set bouts.
Service there on the other side.
This can be contagious, Jay. A couple times tonight we've seen those go back and forth. Only one thing is earlier we had 3 straight.
Wake Forest 6 of the evening. Notre Dame has 12. Monson gets it across. Ogagar. Off the deflection. Douglas evens back up at 2.
We saw how quickly things spiraled in that 4-set once Notre Dame was able to get out to a multi-point lead. Obviously, a chance to do it right there, but Wake Forest not stymied by the Irish block.
Schrader off the block. Baker up to Ogagar, and Ogagar sets it down with some emotion.
Well, no matter the end result in this one, Coach Randy Smart's going to have some praise for Emmy Ogagar, I'm sure, when this one's all said and done. How about someone stepping up when your team needs it most and already making an impact in this 5th set?
Torrance just scoots it over the net. Lang has it blocked, but goes out of bounds. Tied at 3. Now Fiona Schrader. Crawford has it blocked by Tarnoff and Trump.
Now Crawford tried to power it right through there, and we see Lucy Trump at the last couple moments making 4 plays around the front of the net as well. They actually Tarnoff making that block, but Trump was certainly there to provide support.
Baker up to Crawford. Crawford finds the opening just too far out of the reach of Hattie Monson.
As if this needed to get any tighter. 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4. Does not get any closer than that.
In a 5th set. Tensions high here between both teams. Trump off the top. Baker flat-footed to Ogagar. Ogagar with power through the block.
And this 14th all-time matchup between Notre Dame and Wake Forest. Certainly gonna be one to remember no matter how it finishes.
Monson receives a serve. Lang picks up the point for the Irish on the tap.
Add 5-5 to that list too.
It's only fitting how this one would go, and it's going right as we would expect. Lang. Baker to Ogagar on the slide. Palazzolo out of the reach of Torrance. 6-5, Notre Dame leading.
Like an effort from the Purdue transfer there in Torrance, who's racked up over 200 digs this season, second most on Wake Forest. Just out of her reach.
Carney with a rocket off the hand. 6-6?
6-6. On cue. Might as well just fast forward to 13-13 and see what happens from there.
Well, I don't know if we need to go that far. Emma Farrell will serve. Palazzolo. Carney has it blocked. Tarnoff off the top of the net. Notre Dame leading 7-6.
Game of inches right there. If Tarnoff hits that ball an inch lower, probably doesn't make it over. She hits it a little bit higher, maybe it spins off the net in a different way and winds up out of bounds. Instead, just in the perfect spot.
Baker up to Carney and on the deflection.
7-7.
Ryan Baker, sophomore center from Rolling Mills, Illinois, now to serve. Set down by Carney. Wake has a 1-point lead heading to the immediate timeout. We got a good one here in this 5th set between the Demon Deacons and Fighting Irish.
From West Virginia, to Wake Forest. She was known for her ability to succeed on the block, but her offensive game has improved as well. Had 17 kills a few matches ago against Virginia, a season high, and she can exceed that total or get there. It probably means Wake Forest is going to take this thriller in this 5th set.
Frankie Tries to get over. Monson was there. Palazzolo brings it back. Passes to Trump. Trump from the pass of Palazzolo kept alive. Defense from Sydney Palazzolo turns to offense for Lucy Trump. We're back tied 8-8.
It's great. If you're just tuning in, we have literally been tied every single point from 1-1 to 8-8. Neither team has gained any separation through the first half of this final set.
Carney has it blocked, pushed over by Douglas.
Great job by Douglas, not just tracking that ball after it was deflected, but tracking where the defense was moving as well and finding that soft spot on this near sideline. Wake seesaws back in front.
Willock. Palazzolo kept alive somehow by Farrell. Schrader has Irish pick up the point on the tap.
9-9.
And Coach Smart will pull out the card, challenging the deflection.
Well, 9-9 for now, at least.
For the Irish.
This, in theory, should be one of those calls where you ask your player, and they should know, but the game does move so fast that sometimes you can feel the ball going by you and mistake it for glancing your fingertip.
Big spot in this contest. Looking to see, does it change directions?
Well, the Wake Forest players, I noticed, didn't argue at all, which is usually the telltale sign. But see that angle there? It didn't look like it.
Biggest thing you want to look back on. There's not enough there. I don't know if there's a touch there.
Based on that second look I saw, I feel pretty confident saying she didn't touch it, and this should be Wake's point.
We will see.
Wake has already challenged once tonight. It was unsuccessful for a net violation on Lucy Trump. Ultimately was not found.
This AVCA official crew has Rodriguez, referee 1, and then Elizabeth McHugh, referee 2, over at the monitor. Taking her time, being thoughtful. Such a pivotal moment in this match for both teams.
Yeah, that first review was a little frustrating for some of these fans because it was, you said when Notre Dame was up by 8 or 9 points late in that fourth set. It didn't really matter that call in terms of deciding the outcome. This one, crucial.
Has a lot riding on it. And now 2 referees conferring over the walkie. And now whistle comes. Point will remain Notre Dame's. We're tied at 9-9 even after the review.
That's one of those where you're thankful the call on the floor went your way. Certainly wasn't much of a deflection if there was one.
And Smart just asked for an explanation. Ultimately, referee Elizabeth McHugh can't give too much more than didn't see enough to overturn on the looks. And now Sydney Palazzolo to serve for the Irish, with the score trying to be figured out by the bookkeepers, and we're ready to go. And it's a service ace from Sydney Palazzolo. What placement from the junior. And it's a timeout from Coach Smart.
Palazzolo's had some great shots tonight, but this one might be her best. See Willock backing away from it, expecting that ball to go long, but it is dropped just inside the white for an absolutely perfect and timely shot. Gives Notre Dame its 8th service ace of the night.
Notre Dame trying to do everything they can. This will be their last time they play in Purcell Pavilion here in this 2023 season. They're trying to go out with a win. In this fifth set, lost the first two, came back to win the third and the fourth, trying to complete the reverse sweep. Your Wake Forest trying to gather, and once again, try and tie it back up at 10-10.
Yeah, and if you're Wake Forest right now, I know Coach Smart said she likes to talk about the bigger context of where they are in the season with the team a lot, but you got to focus on the here and now, because you don't win this game, suddenly those last two might not mean quite as much as Wake Forest is thinking they will.
Player-led huddle for the Irish breaks up from the captain of Nicole Drunick, one of the seniors being honored tonight, along with Charity McDowell. Fans starting to get into it here inside Purcell Pavilion. Palazzolo back. Notre Dame 5 away from claiming a victory. Wake Forest 6. Lang works it through the block, and Notre Dame leading by 2 for the first time in a fifth set.
First time either side, of course, has led by 2 in this set, and Lang doing a nice job getting on top of that ball and getting it below the arms of the block so that it falls straight down.
Crawford off the top of the block of McDowell and Lang.
Absolutely huge point there this late in a fifth set. To fall behind by 3 would be a steep mountain to climb. Instead, Wake Forest stays right in the thick of it.
Service error, have the Irish 3 away. And now the libero in Hattie Monson, player who announced earlier this week she would return for her 5th year inside Purcell Pavilion, steps up to serve. Crawford with a big swing. Schrader goes launching into the seats. Fans starting to feel the energy switch.
It's been over 2 years, Jake, since Notre Dame came back from a 2-0 deficit to win a match. But they are 2 points away from doing so right here tonight.
It'll be the final timeout from Coach Smart. She uses it.
Last time the Irish pulled it off was October 1st against Georgia Tech on the road, and a top 25 Georgia Tech team at that. Heidi Monson, Lauren Tonoff, Fiona Schrader, they all played in that game for the Irish. Schrader and Monson both played in all 5 sets of it as well. So you know just how tough that is. Certainly a lot of failed attempts between now and then.
It's gonna take a lot. As Purcell Pavilion falls a little quiet in what is a big timeout. Coach Craig Dyer, associate head coach, talking to the team, understanding how pivotal this moment is and could be one of those season-defining wins.
It's been a long time since Notre Dame has had a moment they can really feel good about. This would certainly be one.
Irish on a 9-game losing streak. And here for Wake Forest, they have a lot riding on this one.
Their last victory was here October 13th against Virginia. They'd won consecutive sets just once between now and this night, or between then and now. Going to go 3 straight. Pull off the most improbable comeback you can have in a volleyball game.
Baker up to Ogagar. Drunick lays out. Lang on the deflections, no one's there. Irish at match point in the 5th.
Don't think anyone would have believed you if you said we reached this point when it was 2-0 Wake Forest. And the Deacons seemingly had this under control.
Baker behind the back to Slater. Finds the opening, sneaks it in. Notre Dame still on match point.
And you know Wake not going to go quietly here. Not just in this game, but of course knowing in their season that this could be the defining moment. Certainly going to leave it all out there.
Ava Torrance serves it over. Palazzolo digs it out. Drunick up to the freshman Lang. Baker to Crawford. Has it set down. Baker keeps it alive though. Crawford will pass it over. Irish will set their offense. Drunick to Lang. Crawford. Drunick to Schrader. Blocked. Schrader puts too much on it, but it goes Irish's way on the deflection. Notre Dame completes the reverse sweep on senior night.